In this lesson plan overview, I'll show you how to use your assessment data to plan and execute a Fluent guided reading lesson. A good place to begin collecting assessment information is from a level passage with comprehension questions. You'll also want to consider student responses during whole class instruction and individual reading conferences. The anecdotal notes you take during guided reading lessons will give you valuable data as well. You can compile the information on an assessment summary chart to help you form flexible guided reading groups based upon reading levels and needs. Update the chart monthly so you can regroup your students based upon new goals. You'll want to use a variety of genres that challenge students and fit your focus strategy. When choosing a book for Fluent readers, look for a relatively short text in any genre that offers a slight challenge and fits your focus strategy. The lesson starts with a short introduction to the text. Provide a simple description, then have students look through the text to get an idea of what it is about.
Today you're going to be reading the story about a boy who tries to steal a woman's purse. And you're going to read to find out how the woman changes the boy's life.
When working with Fluent readers, the emphasis is always on strengthening comprehension. So during the book introduction, have students make predictions and ask questions using text features, such as the table of contents, headings, and illustrations.
On the front page, you see a photograph of a landslide. I want you to turn and talk to each other and make a prediction. What do you think caused that landslide? Talk to me.
It's important to teach students how to use clues to define new words. When introducing new vocabulary at the beginning of the lesson, be sure to select only those words students can't figure out on their own by using context clues or the glossary. If you need to explain the meaning of a word, break it down into 4 manageable steps. Say the new word and give a simple definition. Connect the word to students' background knowledge. Relate the new word to the text, and have students turn and talk to each other about the word. Next, introduce and model the focus strategy so the group understands what is expected of them.
So let's just do one together. What would be a good character trait for the lobster? What do you think? Foolish. So I'm going to put foolish right here on this side. And then over here, I have to write down something he did that was foolish. Now, he did more than one thing. So what was one thing that this lobster did that was foolish?
He went to sea when it was like squall.
When it was a squall. So he went to sea in a squall.
Once students understand the focus strategy, they read independently while you observe, coach, teach, and prompt. This is your chance to differentiate your instruction by tailoring your prompts to meet individual needs. Your prompting will focus largely on vocabulary and comprehension. When prompting students to think about vocabulary strategies, remind them to reread and look for clues in the text, check the picture or visualize the sentence, use a known part of the word, make a connection to similar words, and use text features such as the glossary. Comprehension strategies fall under 3 categories: literal, which requires students to recall an idea stated in the text; interpretive, which requires students to make inferences, comparisons, and contrasts; and evaluative, which challenge the reader to evaluate the author's purpose or form an opinion about the text. The goal at the Fluent level is to teach students how to use many different strategies to understand what they read. Strategies are taught by providing students with scaffolding. Have students use scaffolds to learn a strategy first at the literal level of comprehension, then the interpretive level, and finally the evaluative. Plan to reduce your scaffolding and encourage greater independence at each comprehension level.
The boy's face is dirty.
So what was that? What kind of text clue was that?
Physical traits.
And what was your inference?
He's poor.
Excellent job.
As students read, they write short responses that match the comprehension or vocabulary strategy they are learning. Each day, after students are done reading, have them share their responses and discuss their ideas about the text.
He's worried.
He's worried about what?
He's worried that she won't let him go.
You can interject a few probing questions to lift the student's thinking to a higher level.
Who do you think learned the most from this experience?
Crab.
The crab. What do you think he learned?
That it's bad to go on an adventure when it's a squall.
During the discussion, think about the amount of support that will be needed in the next guided reading lesson. Wrap up the lesson by having students add 2 words to their new word list. Students should work with these words during independent literacy activities and try to incorporate them in their speech and writing. Periodically assess them on these words. At this level, it may take more than 2 days to finish the text. If it does, extend the lesson an additional day or 2 following the same procedures as on day 1. It may not be necessary to finish the text if you've achieved your instructional goals. To increase their focus and facilitate close reading, Fluent readers should always write short responses as they read. When they finish reading the text, you may want to do a guided writing lesson to extend their comprehension and improve their writing skills. The observations you noted over the 2 or 3 day lesson will be used to determine what to teach in your next guided reading lesson.